On July 4th, a major shift in healthcare policy became official. Millions of Americans on Medicaid will soon face new work requirements, and non-compliance means you're going to actually lose your Medicare benefits. So if you're aged 18 to 64, have no dependents under 14, and rely on Medicaid, this video is for you. So let's break it down step by step. So first, we're going to go over who this affects, then what counts as work with the new work requirements, who's exempt, the state-by-state rollout, why this matters, what's the bigger picture here, my 2 cents, and then finally a closing statement from myself. All right, so first we're going to go over who this affects. So the new rules specifically apply to able-bodied adults between 18 to 64 years old, and you have to have no dependents under 14 receiving Medicaid in participating states, which we'll go over. All right, so this group will now need to meet certain work requirements to keep their health care coverage. And you might be asking yourself, what the hell counts as work? So under the new law, work includes a broad set of activities. So traditional employment, full-time or part-time, job training programs, workforce development classes, enrolling in college or GED prep, and then also volunteering. Also caring for elderly family members in certain cases. Okay, so you'll typically need to work a minimum hour requirement each week, and most states are modeling it out. And most states are modeling it around 20 hours per week, though it can vary state by state. Now, who is exempt from this? The following people are exempt from the work requirements. So seniors over 65, pregnant women, and people with certain disabilities, and those caring for a dependent under the age of 14 would also be exempt. And this is a shift from the previous threshold of 18 or even 21 in some states. That means if your child is over 14, you can now be required to work or report activity to stay covered. So they've reduced it from 18 and 21 down to 14. Before in the past, you may have been covered, but now you are no longer covered. This is going to be a state-by-state rollout, and this isn't a one-size-fits-all law. Each state is actually going to take these, implement them on their own timeline, and rollouts can begin as early as next month in some areas. And all participating states must fully implement by the end of 2026. So we only got 6 months left for them to fully implement. And red-leaning states are expected to move fast, like Texas, Florida, Georgia. They're already drafting their plans and getting them ready. But blue states might delay or fight it, but of course you can't count on that. So I would get started and check your state's Medicaid website to see your timeline. Now, why does this matter? Because it could affect you if you don't comply, right? You could automatically be removed from Medicaid, and states will use existing employment data, program logs, self-reporting systems to determine whether you meet those requirements or not. There's going to be no notice and no appeals and no grace period in some cases. So people who are working gig jobs and not reporting or not logging volunteer hours properly, misunderstanding the dependent age cutoff, are all at a major risk of losing coverage without realizing it. Now, this is part of a larger national shift that I'm seeing from entitlement-based healthcare to performance-based eligibility, from blanket support to you-earn-it policies, and it's just the beginning because SNAP, housing aid, and more could follow this model soon. I think there was some more news today around SNAP and that getting cut off as well. So what's happening here is more than just paperwork change. It's a fundamental redefinition of who deserves support in this country. And I think it's time for everybody to kind of take control and kind of look at this as a snap in the face to see like, holy shit, things can be taken away from me, and they're going to keep on cutting different programs left and right. They're going to continuously cut more and more and more programs. This is one of the things you should just make sure that you're eligible. If you're not eligible, you should find another way to not lose coverage and to get other coverage to kind of protect you if you were to lose coverage. So my 2 cents, and how do I relate this to investing or real estate? As someone in real estate, I've seen firsthand how health coverage impacts people's stability, rent payments, and even eviction risk. So if this law pushes people off Medicaid without warning, we can see ripple effects. If this law pushes people off Medicaid without warning, we could see some ripple effects across the economy, from housing to labor participation to public health. There's a lot of people who just are not working at all on getting Medicaid, and they're getting these free handouts. And I think a lot of these people are going to lose their Medicaid coverage because of it, because they're not working at least 20 hours a week, and they don't have any disability, and they don't have any dependents, right? So I think this is kind of the new thing that we're seeing in this new economy, is everything is getting cut for those people that aren't working and getting free handouts from the government. And there's a lot of people too right now that are probably living in Section 8 housing, government housing, that are getting Medicaid as well, getting these Medicaid write-offs and getting free housing. So free healthcare and free housing. And in this economy, in this day and age, for the next couple of years, while Trump is in power, I think this is going to maintain. And I think you're going to have to just really comply with the law and comply with all these new rollouts and new programs, because there's more and new stuff coming out every single day. In closing, if you rely on Medicaid or know somebody who does, please share this video with them. This isn't about politics. It's all about staying informed so that you or your loved ones don't lose the vital coverage they need. Drop a comment if your state has released a timeline. Like and subscribe. I'll be tracking the rollout and updating you as it happens. So make sure to subscribe to this channel so you know when future updates are coming to Medicaid and other programs and other changes in the U.S. economy.